Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of On the Streets. Most of you guys wanted to have a bit more narrative and context in the street POVs. In this series, I'll share my thoughts and insights while doing street photography. By the way, if you're new to the channel, I'm Kebs and I'm learning and teaching street photography. If street photography is something that you're interested in, don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss future episodes. See you on the streets. Today, I'm exploring a new area. I don't have a specific plan of where to pass. The only goal is to get to the supermarket eventually. I saw these tiny triangular holes and I knew I have to get a couple of shots. I'm hoping to see a subject through a hole, but I can't see anything, so I moved on. The colors would make a good backdrop, so I knew I just have to find a subject. I eventually found this turon vendor under a colorful umbrella. If you don't know what a turon is, it's a deep-fried wrapped banana dusted with brown sugar. I'm repositioning to capture him from different angles. At the moment, the only decision is whether to have more of the subject in the frame or more of the background. I'm taking another shot with a slightly different composition. I'll stay in this area a bit more and see if I can come up with different compositions with the blue background. With a backdrop like this, it's easy to isolate subjects. So right now, my only concern is to wait for a subject to walk into the frame. I chose this frame because I wanted to do layering. The two posts is a layer, the subject is a layer, the blue tarpaulin is a layer, and the buildings behind it is another layer. I wanted depth in the image. While crossing the street, the line of umbrellas caught my attention. The scene under the umbrellas is a bit messy, so I decided to use the umbrellas themselves as the subject instead. Graffitis are fantastic backdrops. I just wish there are more in our area. I stayed here for a minute waiting for subjects. I would have stayed longer but I felt uncomfortable. This area is in front of the hospital and it's a pandemic season. I positioned myself near the graffiti to get a close-up. That's a tip, by the way. If you're in a spot before the subject gets there, they will be less likely to mind you. I am now in another spot, De La Rosa Street. If you're wondering what happened between my time in the last spot and here, you have to watch the next episode of No Edit. No crop, no adjustments, straight out of the camera. From afar, I saw this light coming from in between two buildings. I also noticed this fallen tree caused by the recent typhoon. I know that I'll use the light later on, but I'm wondering how I can use the tree for a composition. It's an element that will not always be there, so it would be good if I can use it. This is the frame that I thought would come out nice. I'm waiting for people to pass under the tree so I can get a slightly more dynamic shot. This guy with the bright red umbrella is the perfect subject. I now turn my attention to the light. One thing that I love doing is using a lot of negative space and creating shapes from the light. The streets are currently filled with delivery men and they make excellent subjects. While crossing, I spotted this light across the street. I instantly have a composition in mind, but would love to be surprised by the elements that would come into the frame. This is the frame that I'm working on. You can see the shapes created by the light. At the same time, there's a clear framing. I don't know precisely who or what will come into the frame. When it comes to subjects, most of the time you have to be intentional. Other times, you just take whatever the streets give you. I'll be sure to come back to this spot at a different time. I thought that I had to go far for the next spot. It turned out it would be 10 seconds away from the last spot. This spot combines all the elements that I usually look for. The harsh sunlight, colorful backdrop, deep shadows for negative space, a possibility of layering, and dynamic or changing subjects. I now move on to the last spot for this video. As you may have noticed, my mindset in this video is to quote-unquote fish. I look for a good scene and wait for a subject. Sometimes this is what I do, other times I keep moving. That's it for today, guys. What do you think of this new format? If you liked it, please leave a thumbs up and share the video. See you next time.